Last year's National Player of the Year, Nyjeri Canady, takes the ball for Texas Tech to face the Oklahoma Sooners. Starting lineup brought to you by Capital One. Sid Sanders had a multi-home run game at the World Series yesterday. 2 of now 5 career home runs at the Women's College World Series, and she gets bumped up to the 5 spot as a reward for Patty Gasso's Sooners. The number 2 seed in the country, 52-8, against 12-seeded Texas Tech. Let's play ball with a strike from Nyjeri Canady to Cassidy Pickering. It is a 6:06 first pitch on a 90-degree night that feels like 97, and facing Nyjeri Canady might feel like 197 for Oklahoma. The first team All-American Pickering quickly in the hole against the first team All-American Canady. The 6th best scoring offense in the country against the nation's best pitching staff. 1-2. Early signs, Amanda, for how Oklahoma will attack Canady. What do you look for?
If they're taking that pitch that's up in the zone like Pickering just did with 2 strikes, and then she'll come in with the changeup, and that's going to be the absolute biggest difference maker for Oklahoma to face her. They're going to be used to the rise, but it's the changeup that she has been throwing effectively to get these hitters out in front. They're worried about 74 up and in on their hands, and then she brings a changeup that she is just oozing with confidence throwing all throughout this tournament. Against UCLA, she didn't really throw much out of the zone for the strikeout. A ton of confidence to throw these pitches through the zone and get the strikeout. That is a big reason with how she has grown since her freshman year when she was here.
Facing Ella Parker, another All-American. Another off-speed pitch, and Parker's in an 0-2 hole. These Sooners have almost no experience against Nyjeri Canady. The team that beat her 2 years ago at the World Series has been almost completely turned over. Parker getting her first crack. And Parker smacks one hard and out of play.
This first time through the lineup against Nyjeri, it's going to be a learning opportunity for Oklahoma, as it is for any team that goes up against Nyjeri Canady the first time through the order. Gathering information, understanding what she's throwing today, communicating in the dugout about it.
Another 0-2. Nyjeri Canady has thrown every pitch for Texas Tech since the start of the Super Regional round. That's 5 consecutive starts between Supers and World Series. Her 1-2. Little check swing from Parker. That ball lands in the batter's box, and she's thrown out by Vic Valdez. So Nyjeri Canady, not only the 5 consecutive starts, she's thrown the last 371 pitches for Texas Tech. If you go back to her time at the World Series with Stanford, she's thrown the last 680 pitches for her teams at the World Series, as she buries a first pitch strike by Gabby Garcia. Last year in Oklahoma City, 4 complete games for Canady. Well, Gabby Garcia was a high school senior. Her first appearance here. Another All-American. Another 0-2 count.
And that's a pitch on these left-handed hitters that Nyjeri Canady feels very comfortable with, whether it's a screwball moving a little bit away from them at the knees on the outside corner, or more of a lower rise ball on the outside corner. She likes to throw on her arm side.
0-2 for Garcia, torpedoed into the net. Nyjeri Canady's 11th game, 9th start all time at the World Series. An ERA coming in 1.05.
Already Gabby Garcia making an adjustment in this at bat. The first pitch that Canady threw her, she was well behind on the outside corner, a little low rise, and then being able to foul that one off. Getting some looks in her first at bat, just a freshman, as you mentioned, going up against one of the best.
Garcia chases strike 3. And with a hop and a smile, Nigeri Kennedy completes a perfect first.
And Nyjah Kennedy is going to go right at you. She doesn't care what the name is on the other side, on their uniform. She gives you your best in the biggest moments. 2 Ks for Nyjah.
For Oklahoma and Texas Tech in the Red Raiders starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One. Haley Toney was moved from the 9 spot back to the 2 spot here at the World Series, and she rewarded Jerry Glasgow's faith. The game-winning home run in the 6th inning Saturday in a win over UCLA. That Texas Tech 9, led by the junior Davis and the freshman Toney, only 2 seniors in the bunch, will take on a senior. Sam Landry, who pitched for Jerry Glasgow at Louisiana and now is going to try to knock her old coach's team out with a couple of wins.
And she has a really different look than what she looked like when she was pitching for him at Louisiana, because she's going to her drop ball more, but she has a rise ball that she'll move up in the zone, a curve ball she can bring into left with that nasty changeup that she'll throw 25% of the time, and has a 36% whiff rate on that pitch. A lot of swings and misses, and she loves it with 2 strikes.
She'll start the game against one of her former teammates, Maya Davis. It's Cajun on Cajun between Oklahoma and Texas Tech in the World Series semis, and Davis fouls away the first pitch. The all Big 12 performer, Maya Davis, 85 hit, 26 steal season, looking to get on for the first time at the World Series. And she'll slap another one out of play.
I think Maya Davis is going to be a key cog to get going if Texas Tech wants to make a run today, and then if they win today into that Champ Series on for their first national championship. She has been quiet. She was not in the Super Regional.
Well, there is Jerry Glasgow, and what an unusual situation this is for him. Took over the Texas Tech program after a wonderful 7-year stint at Louisiana, where he coached Sam Landry for 3 years, and now has to watch her from the third base box as his old pitcher gets the better of his old and current hitter. Strike 3 to Davis with that changeup.
And as Sam Landry goes at these hitters, you'll notice this changeup can be in multiple different spots throughout the zone. This one kind of dives down right over the heart of the plate, but she gets Maya Davis well out in front of that pitch. She likes to move that changeup all throughout the zone. She has great command of it.
Aaron Peterson is the plate umpire tonight. Calls strike 1 on the red-hot Haley Toney, the pride of Magnolia, Texas, who's had a wonderful postseason. 10 for 22, 3 homers in the tournament. Toney flinches and takes another changeup.
And that's 3 changeups in a row that Landry has thrown, now 2 to Toney to get ahead 0-2.
First 5 batters of this game have started in an 0-2 hole against Candy and Landry, 2 All-American pitchers. Landry throwing after 65 pitches, 4 1/3 innings yesterday. What kind of gas will Sam Landry have in the tank? She also threw 106 on Saturday. So pitching for a 3rd consecutive day for Patty Gasso's Sooners. Two.
Ball. It's a great take. A freshman stepping into the box, going up against that kind of changeup that Landry wants her to swing at, that her teammate swung at to strike out on. She learned from that at bat when she was on deck to hold her barrel back.
From 0-2 to 3-2. Toney takes a walk. Great fight back from the freshman. Her first walk of the NCAA tournament, continues a fabulous postseason.
Well, and this is a Texas Tech team that's been struggling offensively, quite frankly, hitting 178 in the World Series, and they've only walked twice. But also just have 3 strikeouts, too. So don't strike out much, don't walk much, looking to hit early in the count.
Lauren Allred, the junior, moved up to the 3 spot. Allred takes a changeup for a low strike. Another Texan and another Louisiana transfer, the redshirt sophomore, who missed most of last year with a torn oblique for the Raging Cajuns and then joined Jerry Glasgow in Lubbock.
Ball. And so far in this game, the two pitches that Landry is going to the most by far, her rise ball and her changeup. Texas Tech doing a nice job of laying off of that rise ball that's well out of the zone.
1-1. Right in there for strike two. Another meeting of former teammates here. Davis, Allred, Langeliers, Valdez, the 1-3, 5-8 and hitters all played with Sam Landry. And now they have to try to beat her to get to the championship series. Hard to imagine a year ago if we were to tell you Texas Tech will be one win away from the championship series. But my oh my, how the softball world has turned since then. Allred fights one to third and out of the reach of Nelly McEnroe-Marinas.
I always like the way that Sam Landry is just not scared to go inside to these left-handed hitters. Sometimes you'll see right-handed pitchers who just stay right-handed pitchers who stay 95% of the time on the outside corner to left-handed hitters, but not her. She'll work it on both sides of the plate. She'll get in your grill, jam you up like she just did with Allred.
6 pitch. Allred waits back again. How much of this first inning for Texas Tech is just about trying to get the feel for that changeup?
Oh, so much. I think that that is everything for Texas Tech in this game going up against Landry. And so far, taking some of those pitches well that she wants them to swing at, and they're showing discipline on it.
Nyjah Kennedy waiting on deck as Allred takes high. Texas Tech is only 1 for 18 in 2-strike counts here at the World Series, though Tony had their first full count walk. Allred trying to fight her way through a 2-strike count. And she'll take ball 3 to run the count full.
Just think about the amount of pressure on Sam Landry in this game. Wearing an Oklahoma uniform, the expectation of winning a national championship from fans, going up against your former head coach and a lot of your old teammates on the biggest stage.
Tony was on the run on that 3-2, and Allred is applying more and more pressure by the moment.
It's definitely the warmest day today too since we've been here.
90 degrees, feels like 97. And we're still a little ways away from the sun going down. We're old enough to remember when people were wearing blankets on Thursday. It was 64 at first pitch. 10th pitch coming. Allred puts it finally in play. And she flies out to Pickering in left. So Nyjah Kennedy gets a little bump in the lineup today. Was Texas Tech's 6-hitter for the first 2 games of the tournament. But Jerry Glasgow's got as much faith in Nyjah as anybody, obviously not just in the circle, but also at the plate. And he actually revealed today that Kennedy was playing earlier this season with a hamstring tear, which is why she didn't hit as much earlier in the year. She still, despite only 98 at-bats, leads the team with 11 home runs. 1 on, 2 out. Strike 1 to Kennedy.
Jerry Glasgow has a purpose for everything. Moving her up to the cleanup spot.
Just an amazing career she's had. She's allowed 19 home runs as a pitcher, 1 every 116 plate appearances. She's homered at the plate every 14. Tony with a good dirt ball read will take second. and get the first runner into scoring position.
Yeah, and Texas Tech has over 100 stolen bases on the year. It's something that kind of gets forgotten about from their lack of offensive production, but Jerry Glasgow teaches aggressive base running as Tony sees that ball down. Sam Landry throwing a lot of changeups, and as a base runner, you need to expect that ball in the dirt to be able to take an extra 60 feet.
2-1 off the wild pitch. You said Jerry Glasgow has a reason for everything he does. I figure he has a reason for revealing to the world on the eve of the finals. His star athlete had a torn hamstring for much of the year. Nothing to hide now, I guess. 2-1 coming. That's in the dirt as well.
And battling through that, and pitching-wise, she wasn't able to throw bullpens because they were nursing it, trying to just make sure that she was healthy to pitch in games. Didn't hit in quite a few games because of that injury, but still just kept on pitching.
4 of her last 5 hits for extra bases. And Isabella Emmerling is out to chat with Sam Landry. The home run leader, the slugging percentage leader on this Texas Tech team, is sitting pretty on 3-1. And Kennedy unloads to foul one away. A violent swinger. Texas Tech only has 1 2-strike hit now in 20 trips to the plate. The one was the Tony homer. And Tony is at second for a 3-2.
And Sam Landry having to go with her harder stuff here because of the way that Kennedy took the changeup early in the count. So she has a decision here with a full count. Is she going to go back to the changeup? Although Kennedy a little bit late on these pitches, I would stay with firmer stuff.
She went off speed.
It's a little risky to me with Kennedy being behind 70 to go to the changeup, but that tells you how much confidence Sam Landry has in that pitch. She's going to keep throwing it. Last minute decision as she picked that up. That she got that so deep as that pitch was already behind the plate whenever she made contact with it. And to slow her swing down as soon as she recognized that it was going to be a changeup to keep her AB alive.
That is the ultimate shoot pull from Nyjah Kennedy. We just had a few words with Jerry Glasgow, taking the timeout, coming down from third. 10 pitches to Allred. This will be the 8th to Kennedy. A marathon first. Nyjah hits a ground ball to short. It backs up Gabby Garcia, whose throw is perfectly bounced to Sid Sanders. Nyjah grounds out to end the first. She'll take the circle for the top of the second. Red Raiders need 1 win to make it to the Champ Series. The biggest show in softball. The National Freshman of the Year 2 years ago, the National Player of the Year last year, and a top 3 finalist this season. She led Stanford to its 3rd and 4th trips to the World Series and to the semifinals. She has led Texas Tech here for the first time, and now she has the Red Raiders just 1 win away from the championship series. Transferred to Tech last July, shocked the softball world. A lot of folks figured she might end up at a place like Oklahoma, or one of the big powers in the sport. Instead, she went to a school that, as it turns out, may have been a budding power. And she misses to Nellie McEnroe Marinas. Great piece that Dave Wilson wrote on ESPN.com a couple of weeks ago, detailing Kennedy and her recruitment and the NIL collective at Texas Tech, the Matador Club. Nyjah became the first $1 million college softball athlete, signing for $1,050,024. The 24 is for her jersey number, the $50,000 for living expenses. Texas Tech has doubled this season its average wins per year the first 32 years. And it's not all Nyjah. It's Jerry Glasgow. It's the transfers he brought over from Louisiana. It's great freshmen. It's Alana Johnson from Washington. But obviously, Amanda, she is the biggest star on this stage.
Well, and knowing how dominant that she was as a pitcher, nevertheless getting to see what she's been able to do offensively with leading their team in home runs, which again was another huge reason that she wanted to come to Texas Tech, because she wanted to be able to hit for herself. And Jerry Glasgow, while recruiting Nyjah to be able to come here, made that a huge part of his presentation and pitch. And he also knew that it was important to be able, as he put it, to look Nyjah in the eye and say, this roster can take us to the World Series with you in the circle. Knew it wasn't just going to be about her, but working the transfer portal to bring in his other players from Louisiana.
Little jam shot caught at second. Alexa Langeliers for the first out.
Because he had said, I didn't want Nyjah to come to Texas Tech if I didn't believe that she could go to the World Series with the team that we had. And so he built a team around her, and while she is a large part of it, I mean, this is a true team that you win games together with, but Nyjah Kennedy is dominant and shuts hitters down, and that's a large reason too.
Inside Sydney Sanders here. Big matchup here, power on power with Sid Sanders, who hit 2 last night. She does not get cheated on any swing, including the 2 yesterday against Oregon.
Yeah, she really worked the count too. She is patient, she is disciplined. Both of her home runs yesterday came on a full count. One on a changeup and then one on a low rise ball where she just threw her barrel on it, was able to keep it fair. That pitch was about a ball and a half inside. Such a great piece of hitting by Sid Sanders on 2 different pitches in a full count.
5 home runs, now tied for 5th most all-time at the World Series, with a couple of players, including former Oklahoma great Shane Knighton. A 2-2 from Kennedy. Speaking of the Oklahoma great Shane Knighton, who was part of the 2016 to 19 teams, a 2-time All-American for OU. One of many national champions to wear the Sooner colors and the Sooner uniform, and a few of them are ready to roar tonight in the OU cheering section. 3-2. That's the home run count for Sid Sanders.
I feel like we've seen this before. She sure does know how to work the count.
Trying to be the first Sooner to reach base. And she will. A 3-2 changeup high. And Oklahoma has its first base runner. Ilana Agbayani, the transfer from BYU, bats 6th tonight. Another very patient hitter. Agbayani, a .320 average, but a .448 on base percentage. 30 walks to just 14 strikeouts, including a walk that set up the 3-run rally against Tennessee in the 7th Thursday. Chops her way through strike 1.
Falling off of her screwball a couple of times, trying to work that outside corner where Nyjah Kennedy will throw her rise ball on multiple different levels, but she'll also work her screwball that will move away from these left-handed hitters trying to paint the corner. It's just seemingly falling out of her hand a couple of times, not getting good spin and location on that pitch quite yet. Maybe a little bit sweaty out there. Maybe it just isn't feeling right now.
Well, Nyjah Kennedy, because of all the strikeouts, can throw a lot of pitches. Much more efficient in the tournament, but on the whole, she throws a lot. And Oklahoma takes a lot. 5 pitches here, and Kennedy ends it with a changeup and a strikeout.
It's a pitch that you have to be aware of with 2 strikes. She pops it out of her hand. Agbayani way out in front of that changeup, and Kennedy throws that pitch through the zone. That pitch from her freshman year has just gotten better and better.
Strike 1 to Sydney Barker. Obviously, the big difference for Nyjah against Oklahoma 2 years ago is the lineup she's facing. There is very little resemblance, but the way she throws a lot different too. Not just that rise ball that Lonnie Alameda, the Florida State coach, calls a unicorn pitch because of its spin and sweep, a screwball, and a much better changeup. Barker muscles one over the glove of Tony, drops into center, and Sanders takes third on the game's first hit. Sydney Barker dropped 4 spots in the lineup, responds with a knock.
It's a great battle by a freshman going up against Kennedy, dealing with this rise ball up and in her hands with 2 strikes, and Barker just fights it off and finds grass. Good piece of hitting with 2 strikes. Good base running by Sanders, who was there via a walk. Gets to second, takes third, and now runners on the corners for Oklahoma. Look at Barker pumped. First AB against Nyjah Kennedy, and she gets a hit.
And in an 0-2 count at that. Tara Archibald, pitching coach, went to the circle. Gasso called her offense together. Her son JT went out there as well. And it's first and third for Isabella Emmerling.
And there's just power, home run power all throughout this Oklahoma lineup. One of the best home run hitting teams in the country, and year after year, you always have to be wary of the long ball.
Another wicked changeup for strike 1. Oklahoma, one of the best teams in the country with runners in scoring position, has faded a bit in these spots here. 2 for 17. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts at the World Series. Emmerling muscles one to short, and Tony is there. Kennedy escapes the jam, and we remain scoreless.
Team All-American honors this season and the #1 overall pick in the AUSL draft, Kevin.
It's a really, really special relationship, Taylor. And we heard that from Jerry Glasgow, who also said Sam Landry is a sweetheart to me and my wife. She means the world to us. Hard to imagine what this is like for these two, Amanda. It's been a wonderful fit for Jerry in Lubbock. It's been a perfect fit for Sam in Oklahoma, but this is not a moment that maybe they dreamed of, having to go head-to-head with Sam Landry's career on the line.
That's funny how it all works out, isn't it? And no hard feelings like sometimes there is whenever the transfer portal is involved and you see your old head coach, and it's just not like that in this situation.
And Landry has been dealing as she strikes out Langoliers.
But let me tell you, the Glasgow family is still heavy on Sam Landry's heart. On her glove is the name Jerry Ann. Well, Jerry Ann is the daughter of Coach Glasgow, who was killed in a car accident in 2019. They first met each other when she was in 8th grade and would come to Louisiana camps. And when Sam was pitching at Louisiana, she wore number 12 in honor of Jerry Ann. Well, when she came to Oklahoma, the number 12 wasn't available. So she texted Coach Glasgow and said, "I'm still playing for Jerry Ann," just in the form of writing her name on my glove.
12 turns into 21 at Oklahoma. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing that Sam Landry's done, Taylor. A beautiful relationship those two have. Jerry Glasgow's late daughter, Jerry Ann, who was a wonderful player, Gatorade National Player of the Year in high school, was an All-American, played at Georgia and Oregon. One of 3 Glasgow daughters who've either played or coached now. His daughter Tara here and his daughter Erin, who played for Texas A&M at the World Series.
And Jerry has mentioned Jerry Ann and saying big reason why he continues to stay close to the game is that he feels close to her whenever he's coaching. And at his heart, I mean, he's the head coach at Texas Tech, but at his heart, he's a softball dad. That's why he started to get involved in the sport, and he just has coached at every single level now and fighting for a spot in the National Championship Series.
3-2 for his right fielder, Alana Johnson. After a strikeout for Alexa Langoliers, Sam Landry and Oklahoma needing to beat Texas Tech twice to make it to the championship series. Here's a 3-2.
Good job getting rid of that pitch. Her changeup again. She is throwing that multiple times to every hitter, and I feel like at this point in the game, Texas Tech, first time through the lineup, has handled that pitch fairly well. Both of her strikeouts have come off the changeup, but spoiling some of them too. But she will continue to throw it despite that.
Landry yesterday threw just 65 pitches in 4 1/3 innings. She was incredibly efficient in a relief win against Oregon. Texas Tech is wearing her out here. Pitch number 39 is smoked foul.
Well, and think about that long term too, Kevin, in case maybe we have to go to games. She is their ace. They want to see as many pitches as possible with Sam Landry in the circles. They get more looks off of her. They wear her down, knowing that Oklahoma has to win 2 to advance, and Texas Tech just needs to win 1.
Another long at bat will extend.
Spoiling it again.
Yesterday, she only threw just over 4 pitches per batter, 4.1 to the Ducks. And with this next one to Johnson, she'll be at 6.8 pitches per batter through the first 6 hitters. The pitch count is climbing on a very sticky night. Number 10 to Johnson is inside. And the second Texas Tech walk.
That was another great at bat. Alana Johnson fouling off several pitches to work that walk. I mentioned 2 walks in this game, and Texas Tech had 2 walks in the World Series before this game.
So 1 on 1 out for Demi Elder. Elder rips the first pitch into the right field corner. There goes Johnson. She'll be waved around from third. Elder on her way there. It's an RBI triple. After all that patience, Demi Elder's ambush puts the Red Raiders on the board.
We talked about Texas Tech hunting early in the count, looking to drive something early in the count, and she doesn't want to deal with the changeup, so she handles the curveball, looks for something 68, 69, up in the zone, and she gets it. She's on time with it, hustles around all the way to get a triple, and then Alana Johnson turns on the wheels to score the first run of this game. That ball was absolutely smoked off the bat of Demi Elder, who's been a leader on this team. And look at the emotion, knowing that every run you score supports the best pitcher in the country of Nyjah Canady, and it feels like a mile to catch up when she's in the circle.
And for the 23rd consecutive game, a frankly unfathomable number, Texas Tech has scored first, and they do so on Demi Elder's first triple of the season. That's a run for Nyjah Canady. And sometimes a run is enough. Here's Victoria Valdez. First pitch swinging. That's a high pop-up. Elder will tag from third. She's going to hold. Too shallow for anything as Pickering heaved it in. It's a big, big second out for Sam Landry. Now the freshman Bailey Lindemuth. Lindemuth buries one to center for a base hit. 3 straight batters put the first pitch in play, and it's a 2-run second for Texas Tech.
When you're getting production from your 9-hole, who's a freshman, you are feeling good at the plate. And clearly, the strategy is to be aggressive early in the count, to hunt the first pitch, get something firm. Because these Texas Tech hitters are barreling up these pitches out of the hand of Landry, not wanting to deal with that changeup. That's her favorite pitch, and lots to smile about if you're Bailey Lindemuth, because I'm sure that felt good coming off of the barrel.
The first 6 batters saw 41 pitches. The last 3 have seen 3. That's a freshman who is a first-team All-Big 12er. When she drives in a run at the bottom of their lineup, Texas Tech is 18-1, and they are rolling right now. They look absolutely fearless against the 4-time defending champs. Jen Rocha out for a visit to try to settle Sam Landry down.
And she's one of the best to do it. Jen Rocha is so calm. I remember Jerry Glasgow was talking to Sam Landry about working with Jen Rocha because she's just one of the best. And in a situation where the inning, I should say, is starting to feel out of control, she's the one that you want to hear from. She is always so calm and knows exactly what to say to these pitchers.
Texas Tech's going to pinch hit for the leadoff hitter, Davis, with the freshman Anya German. Davis 0 for the World Series, 0 for 7. And here's German, who swings at the first pitch he sees in the whole NCAA tournament.
This is something that Hoots game Jerry Glasgow said he likes to do, is bring pinch hitters in, get them involved, give them opportunities, pinch hit for different types of people, even ones that you're not necessarily expecting, like the leadoff hitter, Maya Davis.
It's the last player signed to the roster, originally a Creighton commit. No swing, says Cameron Ellison. Jerry said it after the game Saturday against UCLA. They may only get 1 at-bat, but that at-bat is important mentally to know they had an opportunity to play for their sisters in the dugout. A delayed steal here. Emmerling's throw will not be in time. Lindemuth, after the base hit, ends up with a steal of second.
And Texas Tech is just getting to play with their offensive approach right now, just working on all cylinders. Emmerling double clutched and just couldn't get a great grip. It was on the wrong side of the bag. Good jump.
It's just her 4th steal of the year in 8 tries, Bailey Lindemuth.
Jerry Glasgow will make all these different moves as Emmerling caught that changeup and like a little bit of a double pump to the wrong side of the bag. Lindemuth easily stole second.
So 2-1 for German. I tell you, I thought it was a delayed steal because of the double pump.
Yeah.
Her timing was good. Emmerling was just caught off guard, and we've seen teams be able to run on Oklahoma here at the World Series. The last 4 years with Kinsey Hansen, you basically never saw that. 2-2. That's in the dirt. Lindemuth's going for third, and she'll get there. This wild ride in the second continues.
It's a great read by Lindemuth to pick up the changeup. She's at second base, so she can see the ball out of the hand. Clearly, she's actually going on the pitch. Glasgow sends her again. That pitch was down. Great pitch to run on. Jerry Glasgow pushing the right buttons.
German fouls away a 3-2.
Remember, this is a coach who called a steal of home in a scoreless game against UCLA. He likes to be aggressive, even despite at some points this year getting thrown out. He just keeps the foot on the gas pedal consistently, and his team feeds off of that too.
The guy who keeps hitting on 16 and getting 5s at the blackjack table right now. Another 3-2 for German. Lindemuth at third. Swing and a miss. That ends the inning. Not often that Oklahoma looks a little shook. They've got plenty of time, but right now it is all Texas Tech. A 2-run second for the Red Raiders. Demi Elders triple. Bailey Lindemuth single. Have the girls from Lubbock rolling. Mark at this point.
Well, and they are on brand with the red too, so that emoji works quite well.
That's true. Red Raider Nation fired up right now. They've got a 2-0 lead, trying to eliminate Oklahoma, the team that has won 4 consecutive national championships, the highest remaining seed after 1 seed Texas A&M went down to Liberty in regionals. OU needs to win here to force a game 2. Tech needs just 1 as Nyjah Kennedy, working with a 2-0 lead, pitches to the 9-hitter Abby Dayton. It'll be Dayton, Pickering, and Parker, a junior and 2 sophomores. Strike 2.
I think that you can just tell, especially with the strikeouts against UCLA from Nyjah, how much she has evolved as a pitcher. Yes, she still throws her rise. Yes, she had a changeup when we saw her here that she threw more her freshman year than she did in the regular season. She threw it more at the World Series than she did in the regular season. But where she has grown the most is being able to throw these pitches through the zone. Because now, at this point, she is a junior. Everybody knows her. Everybody has scouted her. They know that she's going to have those pitches. So she's really had to hone in her spin and the location of those pitches to be more effective against these hitters who are now looking for specifics off of her.
That's into left from Dayton. Oh, that was a little bit tricky for Elder.
In her freshman year, when she faced Oklahoma, she was getting some of the best hitters that you know of, like Tiare Jennings, to swing and miss at a rise ball even above her head, because nobody really knew her back then. But now she's being able to locate her changeup, even throw her screwball more through the zone. That changeup has been effective. She's been using her screwball more as well, and not relying as much on her rise ball that is at an eye level that she was used to her freshman year, because nobody really knew her getting swings and misses on. She's grown as a pitcher tremendously.
Second time through now. Cassidy Pickering finds herself quickly down 0-2. Before you even have a second to breathe. 0-2 to one of the nation's best on-base machines. .541 on-base percentage.
And that's a prime example of that pitch, that 0-2 pitch, where maybe her freshman year, when she was facing different teams here on this field, they swung at that. Now you see just takes, they see it start at a certain height. They know it's going to head out of the strike zone, so it puts pressure on her to make a pitch through the zone.
Pickering gets under 1 to left center, traveling out there, but shy of the warning track for Davis.
And that is an example right there, a pitch through the zone, not necessarily a strikeout, but gets her an out. So in her freshman year, she had 13 strikeouts on her rise ball. In 2024, 16. And look at the comparison to her changeup strikeouts. Now it's about 50-50. Also, you can mix in a screwball with that as well. But it's the location of the rise ball that has changed for her, being able to throw it on multiple levels, as she knows hitters aren't going to chase it up as much.
Well, 3 strikeouts, 2 on the changeup tonight. Looking for a 1-2-3 against Parker. Grounded out on a check swing to the catcher Valdez. Parker swings and misses. Been a little more high heat this inning for Nyjah.
Yes, on the swing.
There's a swing called by Aaron Peterson on another rise ball. Kennedy's gone to 2 strikes on 9 of Patty Gasso's 11 hitters so far.
And the one common denominator of each of the years that she's been here is that she's thrown her changeup more once she's gotten here. Only threw it 2% of the time on the full year, her freshman year, but 16% when she got here on this field.
Parker chases strike 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Nyjah Kennedy, who is lighting this lineup up.
You can know it's coming, but it's still so hard to hit. It is so hard to lay off of, and it's because of her changeup that sets up the rise ball. 4 strikeouts for the best pitcher in the country, Nyjah Kennedy.
Longhorns, one of the most decorated programs in softball history, never to win a title. Oklahoma's trying to make it an unprecedented 5 straight. They've already got an unprecedented 4 straight, and the Red Raiders are going for it all in their debut. In-state championship matchup, Texas Tech, a possibility. There have only been 6 in-state championship matchups at the World Series. And they've all featured UCLA against either Fresno State or Cal. Last of those was Bruins Bears in 04, so there's never been an in-state champ series. Haley Tony leading off the home third against Sam Landry.
Time.
If Oklahoma can rally to win today, it would be just the 5th time we'd have an all-conference champ series, and the 2nd all-SEC, Florida, Alabama in 2014. It would also, by the way, be the 3rd time in the last 4 years Texas and Oklahoma would meet in the championship series. Jerry Glasgow came down after that ball one. He's talking with Aaron Peterson. I don't think Jerry's trying to get a warning today like he did on Saturday. Which, by the way, he basically admitted after the game. He was fired up in the 2nd inning at the strike zone for Nyjah Kennedy. Steve Gould was the plate umpire, and after the game, Jerry said he's a tremendous umpire and he's here for a reason. He's a tremendous umpire. But I thought it was important for my team to know I'm going to fight for you here.
Again, he has a reason for everything he does. And I know that every coach is like that, but Jerry Glasgow will verbalize that reason usually to you.
He takes the guesswork out of the equation often.
He lets you know.
Patty Gasso was talking about him. She said, I've watched his career move around some, but he's an amazing coach. And some of the stuff he pulls out of his hat is pretty epic. Said he's somebody who does it the right way. Slow ground ball to Sanders for the first out.
This could be a big rebound inning for Sam Landry. Try to grab some momentum in the circle. Texas Tech has really made her work the first 2 innings. On 50 pitches through those 2 innings. If she could get a 3 up, 3 down against the heart of the order, that is grabbing some big momentum for the rest of her team to carry into their bats.
Working on Lauren Allred.
Ball inside.
Allred had a tone-setting plate appearance in the 1st inning. Flight out, but on 10 pitches.
Ball.
Transfer from Louisiana against the transfer from Louisiana.
Ball.
You can see how much that Sam Landry will go to that changeup. And I asked her earlier in the year if she's always had a great changeup, and she said yes. I've always just thrown one changeup, a flip change. People have tried to get me to change it and change her grip, throw a horseshoe, a knuckle, a circle change, all these different types. But it's her flip change that is her favorite pitch. She has the most confidence in that pitch, so much trust in it. And she really feels like in order to hit that pitch, you have to be sitting on it or else she's going to have success with it. And throwing her drop ball more this year than what she did at Louisiana.
Ball.
And that one's in the dirt. Landry's walked a batter in every inning. And that puts a base runner aboard for Nyjah Kennedy. First time through an 8-pitch battle, Kennedy ended up grounding out to short. What stood out the first meeting between Kennedy and Landry here?
The way that she took that changeup that was down in the dirt, seemed like she had good recognition of that pitch and was looking for something harder.
Ball.
We mentioned this before, but the fact that Nyjah Kennedy was going to be able to hit in this lineup is a big reason why she wanted to come here. And she said on her visit, it was mostly talking about hitting with Jerry, like 90 minutes talking about hitting, and then 30 minutes just talking about pitching with Jerry's daughter, the pitching coach on the Texas Tech staff, Tara Archibald.
Off the end of her bat. That's into shallow center. Bayani gets there. And nearly had Allred in her win in standing to first. Out number 2 in the third.
That's a good adjustment by Landry not to throw that pitch, the changeup, in the dirt like we were talking about. She threw that pitch through the zone and ended up getting ahead of Kennedy and also off the end of her bat for an easy pop-up.
Two down for Lexa Langeliers. Strikeout victim her first time.
Swing.
Senior had an all Big 12 year. Her first with Texas Tech.
Ball.
And a familiar name to stick and ball fans. Her brother Shea, catcher for the formerly Oakland, now Cityless, but playing Sacramento A's. And she wears number 23 for him because, as she said, quote, "I wanted to wear it better than he ever did."
Ball.
So there's a little bit of competitiveness there.
Just a
I'm
little
picking
bit.
up on.
Shea talked about the relationship with his sister a couple of days ago in a piece on MLB.com. He said she used to come along with me to watch all my baseball tournaments growing up, and he said Alexa is actually the more athletic of the two. First round catcher Shea and Alexa trying to get to the Champ Series.
We're foul here. We're foul here.
Next pitch will be the 69th of the game. Not yet done with the third inning.
Ball.
It's in the dirt. That's 7 3-ball counts for Sam Landry in 14 batters. Allred will get a running start on 3-2. Langeliers serves one into center, and that ends the third inning. That was a good bounce back inning for Landry. Part of the OU order against Nyjah Kennedy coming up. Comedic timing has been impeccable this week. Arguably the greatest coach in softball history, certainly at the top of the conversation, and nobody's done what Oklahoma's done the last 4 years. 235 and 15, never been shut out, never been run ruled. They've shut out teams 114 times. They've run ruled teams about 60% of the time. We've lived through it, and it still seems impossible that it really happened. As Gabby Garcia drops down a bunt foul. So no Texas Tech fan I know is celebrating this because Oklahoma may be down, but until the game is over, and the rare occasion when it is and they're on the losing side, they are literally never out.
They never are, and we showed those heroic moments in order for them to be the 4-time defending national champs, and they were elimination magic that led them to the Champ Series. Big swings late in the game. This team knows how to come back, and they know how to fight.
Alyssa Brito is a major part of that four-peat right there in Alumni Central in the front row. Gabby Garcia, heart of the order.
Ball.
Takes low. So Patty talked to Taylor there about not quite being on time. When you have a pitcher with 2 pitches that distinct, how do you get on time?
You have to pick one. So her changeup coming in at 56, 57 as a hitter, you need to have a rhythm that goes with that speed if that's the pitch that you are going to sit on. And the same breath, if you want to try to hit her harder stuff, 73, 74 up in the zone, then you have to start your swing early and make sure that you're hitting a strike and not one that is going too far high out of the zone. And for these lefties, she's been working them a lot on the outside corner with her hard stuff with her screw.
And she strikes out Garcia for a second time. 5 Ks for Kennedy.
The second time through, too, she's being able to expand the zone up like we talked about when she was a freshman here pitching against Oklahoma, because the first time through, she was more down. Now she's getting them to go with her to chase that rise ball. It's set up by the screwball and the changeup the first time through the order. Now she's going more up.
When you look at the numbers for Gabby Garcia, 194 plate appearances, 19 strikeouts. She has gone down swinging twice. Ellie McEnroe-Marinas with a jam job over to first. And 2 quick outs in the 4th.
And she's just been so efficient, too, ever since we saw her in the Super Regional pitching against Florida State. Remember, at that point, and even the weekend before that, in the regional, she was battling a blister on her pointer finger. So felt some pain there, couldn't spin the ball as well. So she was pitching more to contact in the Super Regional, not getting as many strikeouts.
Up and in. That hits Sanders. So Sid Sanders has been on base with a walk and now a hit by pitch. Oh,
Like it hit the knob of her bat, huh?
I think it did. That's off the knob.
Yes.
That Texas Tech is not choosing to challenge. They have 2.
Surprised nobody picked up on that.
That is a huge break for Oklahoma. Great looks from our crew with all the incredible camera angles we have. You could see that ball clearly off the knob. Now Alana Agbayani fouls one away. Daughter of Benny Agbayani, former New York Met, 5-year big leaguer. She's had a wonderful year, winning a Gold Glove and play at second base. Couple of big swings as well, including a grand slam against Texas earlier in the year. The SEC Player of the Week back in April when OU swept Texas. She went 6 for 8. Agbayani, the tying run on a 2-2. She grounds the ball over to Allred. Gonna have to hurry, and she dives into the corner of the bag. Great play at first by Lauren Allred.
And she knows, too, that Agbayani has speed down the line, but the dive is what saves it. Great effort by Allred. Gets a rollover off the changeup. She bobbles it, but stays with it, and the dive. That's passion. Through the strike zone. So that pitch is so tough to hit because of the way that she tunnels it with her other pitches, especially her drop ball and her rise.
70 pitches for Landry today. She has thrown a lot at this World Series. 139 in the walk-off win over Tennessee. 106 against Texas Saturday. 65 yesterday. And that's pitch number 382 for Sam Landry since Thursday. Remember, if they win Oklahoma, they've got to play one more. Going to find out how much gas Sam Landry has in the tank here. She's taken the ball nearly every time in the tournament for OU. Alana Johnson has been all over her. That's fair. Johnson, after a 10-pitch walk, knocks an 0-2 into the left field corner. A leadoff Texas Tech double.
She has been the spark in both of her plate appearances. Back in the second when they scored to work that walk and see a lot of pitches, and now battling off this 0-2 changeup that is just too far up. Oftentimes, Alana Johnson will swing and miss at this changeup, but a good piece of hitting to stick with it, sink into her front leg, and keep her barrel back long enough to punch it to the left side. Alana Johnson having a great day at the plate, picking up this changeup out of the hand of Landry.
It's been a special season for Alana Johnson, transfer from Washington. She's had a huge postseason. Look, it's every one of these kids' dream to be at the World Series, but this is a dream come true for Alana. That is a young Alana Johnson on the left saying, hey, Mom and Dad, you will be watching me play here in a few years. And there she is on the right in Tallahassee, all grown up with the same sign, which is here tonight.
Made it here to Oklahoma City. Truly a full circle moment when she had that here at this field, wrote it all up. Oh my gosh, what a cool moment. That's what it's all about.
Her mom, Koshia, told me that she's always been headstrong. In fact, in kindergarten, her dad bet her that if you never make a B in class, I will buy you a car when you graduate. She was valedictorian, never made a B. So that car's coming, but just when she goes to mid school, guys.
Amazing. That is amazing. Wow. Small town Mississippi kid, went to Washington, made a World Series there a couple of years ago. A lot of Huskies went into the portal after last year. Alana did, and this was the right fit for her. Well, now Logan Holloman pinch hitting for Demi Elder. Another decision that is somewhere between wily and crazy in the Jerry Glasgow scale. Demi Elder had an RBI triple, and Jerry Glasgow immediately pinch hits for her. Holloman butts it, spinning back to Landry, who throws her out. A successful sacrifice as Johnson takes third.
And Jerry Glasgow is telling his dugout, let's get out of the dugout and applaud the bunt of Holloman. Immediately when she put it down successfully, pointed to his dugout saying, let's go. That's obviously why she was in there, to use her short game to advance the runner 60 feet, to have a runner at third base with less than 2 outs.
So he bunts to get to Valdez. She's 1 for 17 here in the NCAA tournament. He is putting a lot of responsibility on his catcher's shoulders here. The former battery mate for Sam Landry.
Swing on the swing.
And Valdez is quickly in an 0-2 hole.
Valdez was up whenever Jerry Glasgow called the steal of home with Garcia at third base.
And she strikes out on 3 pitches.
All 3 going to her changeup, runner at third base. Less than 2 outs. She believes in that changeup so much. Went right at Valdez to get her to chase this pitch down. That continues to be the go-to strikeout pitch for Landry. All 4 of her strikeouts on the change today.
Bailey Lindemuth.
Ball.
What a boost this would be for Oklahoma to get out of this without a run. Lindemuth had a first pitch RBI single in the second. Tech 1 for 5 tonight with runners in scoring position. They're 3 for 12 here at the World Series. They've only scored 6. They've only allowed 1. The senior to the freshman. Way late on strike 2.
And I love that Sam Landry is continuing to go to her changeup, her favorite pitch, even despite Alana Johnson hitting it. She told me it is her easiest pitch to recover from and accept it and move on when it gets hit.
Pretty fearless young woman here. 4-12 as a freshman with runners in scoring position. Started every game but 2 at third. The other 2 she started in the circle. Lindemuth flips one out of play.
It's such an important part and reminder, Kevin, that when it's your best pitch, keep going to it. so much trust in that pitch. She believes in it. She'll throw it in any count, and it's consistently in the back of these hitters' minds. Even when they're taking it for balls, she continues to work it. She knows she has to.
A two-strike bunt will end the inning. Well, sometimes you bust on 16. Couple of bunts don't work out for Tech. Landry escapes the fourth. Oklahoma seeking a 5th consecutive national championship. Texas Tech trying to make it to the Champ Series in Texas Tech's first trip to the World Series. We've got 3 innings to go in game 1 of 1 or 2, depending on if OU can pull this out. Kevin Brown, Amanda Scarborough, Taylor McGregor, our outstanding ESPN crew. It's gut check time for OU, and the 5th inning begins with a base hit. Sydney Barker out of the 7th spot will inspire a little Sooner pride. She's 2 for 2 after being dropped 4 spots in the order.
It's basically copy and paste, too, with the 2 hits that she has. Inside corner, gets jammed, but just has enough on it to find grass in the outfield. And Haley Toney is so quick and such a great freshman shortstop. She almost gets to it, but it's just out of her reach. Sydney Barker being aggressive on that inner half.
Oklahoma gets the leadoff runner on for the first time today, and just the 4th time in 25 innings at the World Series. Patty Gasso, it sounded like she was saying Emmerling barely got her bat back and swung. Didn't like how quickly Kennedy was able to pitch there. Oh, it is 0-1. And it is quickly 0-2. So many times Oklahoma has faced adversity, has been challenged. Here at the World Series, 9 elimination games in the last 5 years. They've won them all. This is a pop-up too short for Emmerling. And you look up and down the roster, it's a much different roster, obviously, than the Sooners that have done it before. There are only 3 seniors on this team and 9 true freshmen. That's why Patty Gasso was the SEC Coach of the Year. We're used to seeing Oklahoma dominance, but she's taken one of the youngest teams in the country to the brink of the Champ Series. Abby Dayton, left field, not quite enough as Elder flags down a long fly ball.
Well, and I think a lot of people at the beginning of the year, because of the senior class that graduated from Oklahoma, doubted that they would even make it to this point. But this team, led by Patty Gasso and her tremendous coaching staff, got to coach this young team. Last couple of years, it had basically been on autopilot because of the success and the veteran and leadership and experience that her teams had. But her coaching staff have really coached up and developed this young team as they just got better all throughout the year. Better and better and better.
It feels like cliche to say, as you look at Tiare Jennings, part of those 4 titles, that this may be Patty Gasso's best coaching job, because we could have said that last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that. But this is one of the all-timers, her 31st year at Oklahoma. Never would I've ever believed, she said, that we'd be where we were. Never thought they'd be SEC champions with a new staff and a new infield for the most part. Freshman captain leading the way. They've made it to the final 3. Texas Tech's trying to make sure they don't get to the final 2. Nigeri Kennedy is through 5 scoreless innings, and she's got the top of her lineup coming up, including Haley Toney, who's already homered in her first trip to the Oklahoma City Dirt. Finals in the Women's College World Series Finals starting this week. We could have a first-time champion here. We will have a first-time champion in the NBA Finals. The last team to win the title in their first appearance in OKC was Oklahoma back in 2000. That's what Texas Tech is trying to do. If it's Texas Tech, we'll have a first-time national champion. And about 10 minutes down the road, downtown Oklahoma City, the Thunder never won the title in Oklahoma City. They have won the 79 Sonics as the franchise in Seattle, and the Indiana Pacers have never won the title. So going to be some first-time winners, at least one somewhere. The Oklahoma softball team right here, the only team out of those 5 NBA and World Series in OKC that has won a national championship, and they need to win 2 today to get back to the Champ Series. Strike 3, Sam Landry gets Maya Davis looking. 3 strikeouts in a row for Sam Landry.
It's her first strikeout on something other than her changeup. Like a fastball on the outside corner, maybe a drop she's getting over the top of, but it's just paint on the outside corner going right at Maya Davis.
Tech has had trouble getting leadoff hitters on. They're just 2 for 18 in this World Series, getting the leadoff batter on. And now a strike dropped into Haley Toney. Walk and a ground out for the freshman. Chases high. Just amazed, Amanda, by how much stronger Sam Landry seems to grow sometimes the more she gets into the game.
I think she just settles in. The nerves start to fade away.
To the right side, that's deflected off of Sanders, and Toney is aboard. A one-hop hot shot that Sid Sanders couldn't pick. It's her 6th error of the year.
And Haley Toney has proven that she can hit the inner half hard. Didn't seem like Sid Sanders got a good read on that last hop, ends up hitting her knee. She can't get her glove there, but Haley Toney hit that hard.
Well, typically Tech makes you pay for mistakes. They won Game 2 of the Super Regional at Florida State and Game 1 of the World Series here without scoring an earned run in either game. Lauren Allred with a fly out and a walk. 2 good battles tonight. Grounds the ball wide of first.
And up to this point at the World Series, they've just given up 1 run. That's how good Nigeri Kennedy has been, throwing every pitch for them, and that's how good their defense has been too.
And their pitcher and cleanup hitter is waiting. 1-1 to Allred. Out of play. Terry Glasgow said Saturday that kind of what we've become is a team that just finds a way to win. Whether it's a double off a wall, a home run, or using our speed and our wheels. The players all know their role, and they've accepted their role. Well, they are very comfortable playing small ball and scratching around a run here or there because they know they've typically got Nyjah in the circle. There's Jerry still coaching, making swing adjustments from the coach's box. Trying to get his top of the order going.
And you always know with Jerry, he's going to be ultra aggressive. We've talked about the steal of home. And when I was talking to Alana Johnson today, she said, we're always in the dugout like, what's up his sleeve today? We know something is coming. It's just a matter of time.
He's got that confidence in his back pocket, as Michaela Garcia said. Allred left side. There's a base hit. Slapped the other way after the in-at-bat message from her coach at third. 2 on for Tech.
Jerry telling her to hit down on the ball, and Allred does exactly that with 2 strikes, drives it down into the ground. That's a drop ball on the outer half, finds a hole on the left side. Great piece of hitting by Allred with 2 strikes to keep this rally going.
And Nyjah Kennedy has a chance to really inflict some pain now.
Ball.
Way upstairs for ball 1. That'll send Isabella Emmerling to the circle.
I was talking to Glasgow before the game about why the decision to move Nyjah to the cleanup spot, and he said she's earned it. She's hitting so well right now. And he said usually I would never make that change because it's too much pressure for a hitter. But he said for her, I don't think she's ever felt pressure. It's just the nature of the competitor she is, always even-keeled.
Well, I'd love to hear that from Jerry Glasgow, because the way he figures out the ways to motivate his players, we found that out throughout the year. It's been pretty special. He has the pulse of his players. I go back to something way back in February. They played Nebraska, and he was asked after the game, why didn't you start Nyjah against Jordy Bahl? And he said, number 1, I want to teach my team it's not just one great player. And number 2, I wanted Nyjah to focus on hitting today because that may be more valuable to us in May. Chases that one for strike 2.
And Nyjah told us that in the fall she was more of a hitter than a pitcher, and then January came and she was like, okay, I think I should focus a little bit more on pitching now.
He's in a big moment here. Landry on a 1-2. Ground ball to short. Oklahoma gets 1 and 2. The Sooners turn their 7th double play of the World Series.
That double play may have just gotten this crowd involved in a big way. The roar of the crowd when this double play was turned was electric. Can they take that momentum into their bats against Kennedy?
Well, you had to suffer through the 20-degree Thursday night, so I guess that's okay. Thanks, Courtney, Maddie, and Danielle out there in right field with a great view of the big bats in this Oklahoma lineup. They're down by 2, and they've got 2, 3, and 4 against Nyjah Kennedy. Ella Parker, who begins the 6th inning with a blistering single to center. Parker's first hit of the game. Oklahoma has the leadoff runner on.
Oklahoma's starting to look earlier in the count against Kennedy, and Ella Parker, who struck out on a rise ball and chased it, sees something down and is able to hit it hard right back up the middle of the field. That's what she was looking for. Kind of sounded like she grunted or Nyjah Kennedy grunted. Both of these teams want this so bad late in this game. A leadoff hit for Parker.
Ball.
And now Oklahoma's leading home run hitter, Gabby Garcia. She has been vexed twice tonight by Kennedy, but she is not typically beaten 3 times. 20 home runs and a 772 slugging. A changeup floats right in there for strike 1.
Felt like that pitch second time through the order wasn't shown as much as it was the first time through. Now here we are, 3rd time through. She's bringing it back out.
A 1-1. Back to it. Got a low strike call.
It's a big deal in this count to get that pitch a called strike to put her in a 1-2 count versus a 2-1 hitters count.
9 home runs for Garcia in her last 17. She swings and misses. Kennedy triples up.
She's going to keep going to this pitch, and why not? It gets swings and misses like this. Gabby Garcia way out in front of that pitch, having to protect it since the one before was called a strike. 2 strikes now. She swings and misses, and we got the Nyjah stomp working in the 6th.
Nelly McEnroe Marinas, first pitch swinging, gets under it. That's Langoliers in shallow center. And after the leadoff single, that's 2 outs on 5 pitches. Oklahoma is 1 for 9 with runners on tonight. 10 for 51 at the World Series. But they've got the hottest bat in the lineup up. Sid Sanders, 2 home runs yesterday, is the tying run. A changeup starts her 0-1. Sanders rips and misses, up to 72 with the rise, and Nyjah continues to have the advantage. Oh, 2.
Nyjah has done such a good job of not letting back-to-back hitters reach. When she has walked somebody or hit by pitch or a hit, she has immediately followed it up with an out, oftentimes, or sometimes with a strikeout too. Get the momentum back.
4 outs left for a team that's 4-peated. Sanders drills it foul. All right, you're a former pitcher. What does that swing tell you?
Just trying to be early for something hard. I'd go back to the changeup. You know me, we've called several of Nyjah Cannady's games lately. I'm always wanting more of the changeup.
Let's see if Texas Tech wants it. Oh, no, hard stuff. Parker's going to second, and the throw gets away. Tech almost had her to end the inning. There's a changeup. It's a little low.
That's a great take, and it looked like, to be on the steal, by the way, that ball got past second base. It looked like it hit off of the umpire. A helpful bounce for Texas Tech that got the ball to Tony.
The tying run, Sid Sanders. 2-2. Changeup throws her. Nyjah Cannady and Texas Tech are now 3 outs away.
This pitch is almost unhittable. Even when you know it's coming, you can say in the back of your mind, look for the changeup, but it still freezes you like that. 2 strikeouts in the 6th for Nyjah.
The first 4-peat in Division I softball history with a 94% win percentage over those 4 years. A lot of new faces here, still a lot of talent. Oklahoma has made it to the semifinals for a 9th consecutive year. But they are 3 outs away from seeing this 4-peat end at the hands of World Series newcomer Texas Tech. Although very much with World Series experience, as Nyjah Cannady is 3 outs away from her 3rd consecutive shutout to begin this World Series. 5-6-7 for Tech against Sam Landry, who's also been wonderful. Langoliers, Johnson, and Elder will try to give Nyjah a little extra breathing room. Oklahoma will have its 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up in the 7th.
The Texas Tech hitters just did such a great job at the beginning of this game of just wearing Sam Landry down, maybe capitalizing on some nerves, taking pitches, just really making her work. And most importantly, swinging at good pitches, not chasing a lot.
Langoliers back to the circle. Well, the Women's College World Series Finals begin in 2 days. Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Jerry Glasgow is here as an assistant. First time as a head coach. Patty Gasso knows this place very well. Oklahoma's 18th time at the World Series. They're 55-25. They've made it 9 straight years. 9 consecutive wins when facing elimination in the World Series. The last time they didn't win the title, 2019, they lost in the Champ Series to UCLA. A little squib ground ball from Johnson to Garcia is out number 2. Demi Elder has driven in a run and scored the other RBI triple back in the second.
The mindset that Coach Gasso talked to this team about in order to try to get them to not feel as much pressure to do what had happened the past 4 years is to treat this year as 1 year, and this team with these new faces trying to win their first national championship, not the 5th in a row.
Ground ball to short will not end the inning. The throw pulled Sanders off the bag, and Elder reaches with 2 outs.
Abby Garcia can cover a lot of ground, great range at shortstop, but pulls Sydney Sanders off of the bag. And if I was Patty Gasso, I would challenge this. And does it look to me like, did she keep her foot
ruling on the play is that the batter runner is safe at first base. Oklahoma's challenging the ruling on the field. The play's under further review.
Timing's going to be close. And I think she was off.
And there has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call of safe.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that when the ball is in her glove, she's off the back.
Well, you have 2 challenges. Might as well use one here. Worth a shot for Patty Gasso, who's trying to keep this a 2-0 game. It's been an uncharacteristically low-scoring World Series for Oklahoma. 4 runs in 2 games, 2 in the other. Nation's 6th highest scoring offense. It's odd to see them down at 6. We're used to seeing them at the top of the country, but again, 6th with this young of a team. It's pretty special. Patty Gasso, JT Gasso, Jen Rocha, and his coaching staff have done a magnificent job yet again. They always seem to find that magic moment late. These last 5 years, they've found countless more than any other team. They've got 1 chance left to do so in the top of the 7th.
After further review, the play at first base is upheld. The runner is safe. It's Oklahoma's first challenge of the game.
Well, we're not going to get there yet. It's an E6, just the 4th error of the year against Garcia, and extends the inning for a pinch hitter, Reagan Jennings, who will bat for Vic Valdez. Reagan Jennings had a pinch hit RBI single on Saturday. Batted for Elder in that one, and a 2-out hit to score the 3rd run against UCLA in a 3-1 win. Jennings is 8 for 16 as a pinch hitter this year. Again, has started a lot, 23 games. Demi Elder came back from injury. It's a big part of the reason why Jennings has become more of a pinch hit specialist, but she does so willingly on a roster where everyone knows their role by now.
Just trying to find any way that they can to move that runner around. I mean, 2 runs feels like a good lead for Nyjah Kennedy, but when you're facing Oklahoma on this field late in the game, you would love to push her on another run if possible.
Jennings to Landry. She's been brilliant, and now her offense will have to be the last chance for the greatest dynasty we've ever seen in Division I softball. Oklahoma must score 2. In performance from Kelly Maxwell to beat Texas. They're the first team ever to win 4 straight Division I titles. They need to rally to have a chance at 5. Texas Tech has never been to the World Series, and they are oh so close to playing for it all. 2-0 game. Nyjah Kennedy against Elena Agbayani, who rips the first pitch back to the screen. Kennedy has been as good as ever, gaining strength as this postseason's gone along, working through a blister issue that hampered her in regionals, getting valuable days of rest twice here at the World Series. And now she has to face 6, 7, and 8 in this fearsome OU lineup. A lineup she has carved up tonight. A lineup that has not scored. A team that has not been shut out. 6 years to the day. A memorable game against Alabama and Montana Fouts. Oh, 2.
One thing, when you watch Nyjah Kennedy pitch, she just doesn't give in. Even to a disciplined team like Oklahoma, who walks a lot. Wait, 1 walk today off of hers. She just comes right at you, and she set that tone in the first inning.
Another 0-2.
Ball.
Kennedy has been on the stage before, never in the driver's seat. She was eliminated by Oklahoma semifinal Monday in 2023. A 9-inning heartbreaker, a game-winning 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run Tiare Jennings double. A shutout loss to Texas last year. Rounded foul, really hit Patty Gasso. It's Agbayani, then Sydney Barker. She's going to re-enter to hit. She's 2 for 2. And then Isabella Emmerling due up after that. Another 1-2. Rounded back to Kennedy. There's 1.
We talked about the pressure that likely Oklahoma feels in this moment, but I would have to imagine that Nyjah Kennedy, with her NIL deal and all the attention that she's gotten last year's National Player of the Year, the expectations, the pressure would be very similar. A high amount, but you would never know it with the way that she handles herself in the circle.
Strike 1 to Barker. We asked Nyjah about that last week, about handling the pressure. She said typically the way it goes, athletes who make money, either they live up to it or they don't, but I had to reframe it. I realized it wasn't my battle to fight. Some people are going to say I don't deserve it, but it's not my battle to fight. She went back and forth with that decision for a long time, a decision that certainly paid her $1 million, but put a lot of pressure on her and on this program. Her 0-2 is a little floater to right. It's another base hit for Barker. And the Sooners will not go down without a fight. They'll bring the tying run to the plate. Isabella Emmerling, who homered yesterday, represents that tying run. Emmerling fouls the first pitch away.
Made major home run potential out of the 8th spot as Bella Emmerling hit her 12th home run yesterday off of Elise Sokolsky. Pitched down in the zone, and Kennedy has been carving her up on the inner half, up and in her hands with her rise ball.
Change up in the dirt. Kennedy's 96th pitch of the night is grounded back to her. She'll go to second. She'll get the lead out there. A gutsy play by Kennedy on a ball that had all kinds of spin back to her. But this gutsy team is 1 out away from the championship series. Abby Dayton, who sent a ball to the warning track last time, is the hitter, and Patty Gasso will use this moment to get a pinch runner in at first and to slow this game down. And she's going to call timeout and bring her infield together, or bring her offense together as the Tech infield gets together with assistant coach Hunter Veach. Patty Gasso has had so much fun coaching this team, and she's admitted time and again how exhausting it was to coach last year. The pressure of an unprecedented four-peat, the weight of the world and the expectations. She's felt like this was a group that freed her up a little bit. She had a little more fun. She's been able to show off that personality and sense of humor a little more. They have made it so far, farther than maybe she even thought. But they've got one card left to play. Tia Malloy's the pinch runner at first. Abby Dayton is the hitter. And Dayton takes a strike. Just 2 home runs on the year, though she came oh so close in the 5th. 0-1. Dayton takes strike 2. The 100th pitch of Nyjeri Kennedy's night could be the one. A high fly ball to right field. It's deep. It's gone. They are never dead. You simply cannot ever count out Oklahoma. Cassidy Pickering, 1-1.
And Kevin, we talked about how unhittable her changeup has been this year, this World Series.
That was an 0-2 pitch to the number 9 hitter who had hit 2 home runs this season. You could not make this stuff up.
Ball.
3-1 to Pickering. Three and two. There are still aftershocks reverberating through this building on an Abby Dayton 0-2 earthquake. The inning is over for Texas Tech. One batter too late.
Stunning. 0-2 count. She gets the changeup, and she is ready for it. Abby Dayton, your name will be remembered. Sooner Magic in the semifinals strikes again. 0-2, 2 outs. This crowd can't believe it, but you know who can? OU fans. Abby Dayton, Patty Gasso, but Nyjah Kennedy cannot. Texas Tech still has a chance to walk it off coming up in the bottom of the 7th.
Just when you think it's safe to go in the water, Oklahoma strikes on an 0-2 2-out. Top of the 7th pitch, Alyssa Brito losing her mind, as is every Sooner fan in this park, in this state, in this world. Abby Dayton, the transfer from Utah in her 2nd World Series, hits her 3rd home run of the season, and the Dayton family will get to celebrate a swing that may go down as one of the great swings in the history of this event, depending on what happens in the bottom of this inning. Texas Tech still has a chance to win, though it feels like the world has turned against them. They've got 9-1-2 with Bailey Lindemuth, Maya Davis, and Haley Toney against Sam Landry. Oklahoma's 2nd home run at the death in this World Series. Ella Parker down 2 outs, 3-run homer off Carlin Pickens Thursday. Abby Dayton down 2 outs, 2 strikes, home run off Nyjah Kennedy. These are not just incredible home runs. These are home runs off maybe the 2 best pitchers in the country. 2 of the best 3 certainly, as Lindemuth grounds out to 3rd. They're 1 strike away from snapping a 337-game streak where Oklahoma had not been shut out. Now, how does Texas Tech recover from this?
You have to take a deep breath. I think we all do. Every fan, everybody watching this. I mean, what a moment. But Texas Tech for sure has to settle down. Top of the lineup coming up. You have a chance to reset. Had great approaches against Sam Landry in this game. Slow your breath down, slow your heart rate down, and lock back into this moment.
Maya Davis. A ground ball bouncing toward the middle. There's a base hit. Texas Tech with a little bit of an answer back. Davis on base for the first time in the World Series, and their fastest player is the winning run. There have been 4 walk-offs already at this World Series. Haley Toney looking for another. Landry floats in a changeup on pitch number 117. It's a game that could have really unraveled and gotten away from Sam Landry in the earlier innings. But she has held Tech scoreless since the 2nd. All in 1.
Ball.
Outside.
And this game has revolved around her changeup. Really, she throws it out of every 3, 1 out of every 4 pitches that she's thrown to Texas Tech. She has thrown it every single inning, and it is still keeping them off balance. First pitch to Toney was a change that she took.
There's the 1-1. Tony takes another for a strike. Remember, Texas Tech has an excellent base stealer. Maya Davis 2 years ago won the Golden Shoe Award. NFCA handed that out to the best base stealer in the nation at 52. 1-2 for Tony. He stays alive. What's going through his head right now?
I think if you're Texas Tech too, you have to remember that if you lose, your season isn't over. If Oklahoma loses, their season is over. So Texas Tech still in the driver's seat, just a tie game, still outs to play with, and they're the home team.
The winning runs at first as Tony drives the ball to deep left field, and it's over the glove of Pickering. Davis got a late break. She makes it to third. Almost a game winner, almost an out. It's second and third, and the winning run is 60 feet away.
Haley Tony's approach has been so impressive. You throw her in, she'll crush it down the right field line. You throw her out, she's able to go with it with power. This one, I thought, had a chance to get out of here. It hits the wall just over Pickering's head. Almost had it just over her glove, but Haley Tony's approach has been unbelievable. Maya Davis, who has speed, sees that down, gets as far off as she can, and makes her way to third base, 60 feet away from winning this game.
She thought she won it. Even getting to first, she thought she won it. It's a double. It's a big hit all the same. And Lauren Allred is going to bat with runners at second and third and one out. Texas Tech can win this game with a hit, with a sac fly, with a well-placed ground ball, with a whole lot of different things. Terry Glasgow across the chalk line, making sure Haley Tony settles. Doesn't want to risk her leaving early at second, as her run means nothing. And now Jen Rocha, the Oklahoma pitching coach, will approach the circle. Everybody take a moment to take a breath.
I think with first base open, potentially talking about working around Allred, load the bases. You take pressure off of your defense, where they have a force at any bag, potential double play opportunity as well.
Of course, you would be loading the bases for Nigeri Kennedy.
Yeah.
But Allred's had 3 very good plate appearances today. Oklahoma trying to extend this incredible dynastic run. Again, they need to win 2 today. Texas Tech just needs 1. It's the Red Raiders' first trip to the World Series, and they are a base away from the Champ Series. Let's see how Oklahoma plays it. Will they pitch to Lauren Allred? It looks like it. Allred's first pitch swinging into right. Barker loads up. Davis to the plate. Save! Texas Tech has done it! They end the greatest dynasty in college softball history. The Red Raiders storm to the championship series. For the first time since 2019, Oklahoma is eliminated from the World Series. The most epic run in college softball history meets its match for a team that had never been here. A coach who didn't get into college coaching until his 50s, and the face of the sport, the first $1 million player in college softball who was almost perfect and then had her teammates pick her up in the last moment. Terry Glasgow and Sam Landry, former coach and player at Louisiana. We're going to let the tears flow here on the World Series stage.